Yes, I'm wearing the same thing you saw me wearing in my insurgency video, and yeah, my bed's unmade. Essentially what happened is I made my insurgency video, went to bed, woke up, ate 2 corn dogs, and now I'm here to talk about Activision. So, you can see a little bit into my life there. Kinda sad, kinda cool though, depending on your point of view. I'm gonna put my glasses on so that I seem smarter. You ever have that moment where your family, your friends, maybe just people on the internet are upset about something you couldn't give a shit about? And then you start thinking about it a little bit, and it starts to bug you? Now maybe that's an obsessive, neurotic, ranty person thing, but I started thinking more and more about the fact that Activision is hiding people's stats. And it started to make me angry. So I popped one of these 200 milligram caffeine capsules, and I'm now going to do a commentary about the fact that if Activision didn't want you to be paranoid about skill-based matchmaking, oh god, they really shouldn't have done what they did. There used to be a ton of websites and apps that allowed you to track your stats, sometimes in real time, when it came to your lobbies. Like, you were able to go into a match and check the stats of everybody in your match with certain apps and websites. It was really cool. Activision decided that that was okay, but they wanted to make it inconvenient. So they basically set everybody's accounts to private. So now you have to go manually opt in to share your stats on third-party websites and apps. This makes stat tracking very difficult because a lot of people won't know about this. Your average Joe that you're trying to see the KD of might not know anything about this, doesn't watch Exclusive Ace, doesn't watch any YouTube, doesn't listen to people rant and bitch on the internet, so they have no clue what's going on. Activision clearly knows this, and this is at the height of skill-based matchmaking anger. Now, skill-based matchmaking on this channel has been very controversial because I have a completely different set of experiences. I think most people are just a victim of their own confirmation bias. I think the testing size and the sample size that YouTubers have used to test, they're not big enough, and again, a lot of the evidence is circumstantial and irrelevant in my opinion, I'm sorry. But this is so funny to me. If you want people to be paranoid about something, censor what they're looking at. Make it harder for them to find what they're looking for. If you want people to be paranoid of the man or the phantom behind the curtain, this is what you do. So, skill-based matchmaking is a really contentious point of topics. That's a sentence. It's a really contentious topic for many, many people. Now, I understand that Activision might not like lobby shopping, but Activision, your job isn't to make sure we don't lobby shop. Your job is to make sure we don't want to lobby shop. People come into my live streams, and they ask me, Boom, what do you think about these YouTubers that are reverse boosting or lobby shopping? And I say, you have to sleep in the bed you pissed in. And when Activision decided that skill-based matchmaking was a go for Call of Duty, they had to know that people weren't going to put up with it. And YouTubers and average Joes alike have proven since 2014 that we hate it. And that we will try to reverse boost, and that we will try to make sure we get into easier lobbies. Now, it's not something I'm going to do. I think that's stupid. But what do you expect? These people paid $60 for your game. $70 for something like Black Ops Cold War. And whenever they want to play it, they don't want to get paired up against somebody with their exact same KD, accuracy rating, score per minute. They don't want it to be a fight for their lives. They want to have balanced matchmaking. And that's a worthy goal. It's not a goal that I think is that unobtainable, and it's not a goal that I think is so far out of the realm of possibility. I think some people get so far into their own heads in their play sessions, they get so tilted, they just believe that it's just the skill-based matchmaking. And yeah, you can blame skill-based matchmaking sometimes, but I think some people go to it by default because it's the thing to do. When I was a kid, it was lag, now it's SBMM. And lag. And also SBMM can cause lag. So it all really just comes back to lag. And this is funny too because, recently, a group of people you could refer to as conspiracy theorists got taken off of Twitter. I won't say much about it, but if you have these people that don't trust the government, they don't trust big tech, they don't trust these sort of institutions, I guess you could call them, taking them off of Twitter and suspending them, even if they're not being violent or rude, that's really just going to make them trust you less. You know, my mom was into some of these conspiracies, and some of them are kind of interesting. And she has the right to read about them and talk about them and engage with people that think that they're, 100% true. But because she engaged with them, because she followed some of them, she got taken off of Twitter. And I know her tweets. I check her Twitter sometimes. I don't know. She's my mama. She doesn't tweet anything inciting violence. She doesn't retweet anything that's graphic. Serious to God, my mom's a saint. Maybe she argues with somebody, but she never resorts to name calling or ad hominems or anything like that. And she got taken off of Twitter. It's kind of bullshit. And if you really want to make people not trust something, you hide them from things. You fact check everything. You put Wikipedia articles underneath every video that has a differing point of view or a new theory. It makes people not trust you. The moment a website comes in front of me and goes, hey, this post you're looking at might not be factual because here's why, it makes me go, okay, well now, I grew up watching The Matrix. I kind of want to see what this guy says now. And that's sort of the normal human curiosity, right? The phantom behind the curtain is way more interesting than the person in front of it going, there's nothing there. And I'm not here to say conspiracy theories are rad, dude, and that you should just believe everything, and fake news and pseudoscience is cool, and circumstantial bullshit is okay. I'm not saying that. I'm saying if you want to make people paranoid, this is how you do it. And skill-based matchmaking is a big problem for people. So making everybody's stats set to private, meaning that most people you try to track their stats, you won't be able to because they're set to private. Even the people that don't like that their stats were set to private, they just might not ever get around to taking them off private because it's a whole thing of going into their Activision account and doing that. Yes, this might stop lobby shopping, but lobby shopping isn't the issue. The issue is that your fan base, Activision, the people that buy into the franchise you publish, don't trust you. And now they trust you less. Like, why is that not an issue to you? I lived through Supply Drop Gate, okay? And I loved it. When before Modern Warfare came out, you guys said, we're not doing that ever again. Sorry, whoopsie. And you guys have remained true to that. And that's probably because you had some analytic that showed that people were not buying supply drops anymore, and you were actually going to make more money if you put time into, not being a shitty company, I get that that's probably what influenced your decision making, not the kindness of your heart, but it was still appreciated nonetheless. I'll take what I can get from companies. I know that your main goal is to open my wallet and fucking go to town on it with your mouth like it owes you money. But skill-based matchmaking is kind of creepier than a supply drop, because supply drop is like, hey, fuck you, buy our shit, whereas skill-based matchmaking is a phantom behind the curtain. Everybody has different stories about it, everybody has different opinions about it, it affects everybody differently because everybody's stats are different. Stats are connected to you, you are an individual, you are a unique little butterfly, just like everybody else. And so the experience is going to be far more subjective. It's not just bad microtransaction, it's why the hell am I in these lobbies? And why am I getting stomped? And why is my connection weird? It's much more personal. So fucking with that in any way and making it harder for people to pinpoint who they're getting paired with is such a bad move. With some people, they're at the point where you could release the coolest Call of Duty game ever with 20 multiplayer maps at launch, its own beautifully crafted, well-optimized battle royale, perfect weapon balance, a great league play system, 120 Hz servers that never fail. You could launch, just the perfect Call of Duty game. And there are people out there that won't buy it if there's skill-based matchmaking. If they get a hint, if they get a whiff of the matchmaking being manipulated to give them a harder time because they happen to do well that evening, then yeah, they're not gonna buy it. And that's one of the recent things I thought about with skill-based matchmaking. As an inconsistent player myself, some nights I just go off. You guys have watched my streams. Sometimes I'm a whiny fucking bitch, and all I do is just get tilted, and I'm mad, and I shouldn't probably be streaming. Sometimes I go off, and I have good matches, and I'm in a good mood, and I go on streaks, and it's fun. And the idea that in those good play sessions, I'm potentially being screwed with behind the scenes so that I do progressively worse throughout the evening, or my connection gets worse because you're trying to pair me with better people, not people with better connections, and that idea really bugs me, and that's where I really sympathize with people that despise skill-based matchmaking, because even though it doesn't affect me in the way some people describe, like it really doesn't. Like for me, it's always been game mode oriented. My friends and I found a nice variety of players in game modes like Hardpoint, Domination, Headquarters, stuff like that, Demolition. We found a really good variety of players like that in Modern Warfare. But in Black Ops Cold War, if I play anything that isn't Team Deathmatch or Kill Confirmed, it's a sweat fest. It is people trying out for GBs and nade spamming and never letting off the objective, and it is just a little too goddamn intense, and it's not fun. It's fucking fatiguing for me. Like, as somebody who gets really easily tilted, and I kind of have an attitude problem with FPS games sometimes, I like to make myself focus on my own performance and not the stats of my enemies. But I guess if you're a really self-assured player, you know you're really good, you don't get tilted like that, you are in control of your gameplay, you can be more focused on things like that, skill-based matchmaking. Me, not so much. I feel like if I focus on that, it's a bad rabbit hole. I used to blame lag for every death when I was a kid. I don't want to blame the matchmaking for every match I do poorly in. Even though occasionally on stream I'll be like, oh, there's the skill-based matchmaking. But that's, you gotta put the blame some other places. Otherwise you just go insane. If you put everything on your shoulders, you'll end up telling the truth. Anyway, thank you guys for watching my little rant about this. Basically, the conclusion here is that this is how you make people paranoid. This is how you make people distrust you as a company, as an organization, as a government. This is how you make people distrust you, is you make it harder for them to find the answers that don't exactly line up with your PR. Thank you again for watching. See you when I see you. Goodbye.